Hello guys, I'm Savvy and welcome to a Minecraft build video. More specifically, a speed build video of a very popular house that is from a very popular cartoon that actually came out in the 90s. And this house in particular is the Simpsons house. Bart Simpson, Marge Simpson, Homer Simpson, Maggie, all the characters in the Simpson household. You know that house, right? Right? I'm sure you do. But that's what I'm going to be building today, as you can see right in front of you. This build was not too difficult, but I mean, it didn't really turn out it turned out pretty detailed, I'd say, at least as much as I can get it in Minecraft, obviously, because otherwise, if I wanted to be a little bit more detailed, I probably would have used a mod like Chisels and Bits, or I probably would have made it a lot larger, but I decided to go with more of a, I guess, Minecraft scale type of build where it's functional, it's practical with the size that it is, where you could split it up into different rooms and whatever. Though the rooms that would be split up here, I kind of did the interior, as you'll see later on, but not so much. Just because of the build itself taking some time, because the house is quite large. The house is quite big. So, and obviously, as I'm talking through this, I'll probably put up some screenshots of the house as we go through this, just randomly throughout the build as I start talking about it. But what I'm using for this build, because you guys can build along if you want to, even though it's a speed build, you guys can probably slow it down and everything. I am using concrete blocks, and I'm also using a texture pack called SapXCraft. So if you guys are wondering why they look like this, it's because I'm using SapXCraft. Because there was two different types of Simpsons house that exists. There's the pink one, which I didn't want to go with the pink one. I think it looked really weird. And then there's kind of like this brownish tan color of the house, and I thought I wanted to go with more of that color. So what I decided to do to get the closest that I can is to get this orange concrete that I decided to go with. I think it's a lot different in vanilla texture pack than it is with SapXCraft, but I think SapXCraft makes it looks really good. It doesn't really look that much orange. It kind of has like that brownish hue to it as well. And as you can see in the picture of the house here, it turns out that there's like a brown roof, and at first I was thinking of using the oak wood stairs, but I'm like, no, I think a darker wood would be better, so I decided to go with spruce. And the roof took the longest, just like with any house, especially if you make big houses in this game. It definitely takes a long time. Even in creative mode, it could take some time. And also throughout, I changed the time to make it go back up to 6,000 for the time. But then I also realized something, that the roof is sort of slanted down a little bit more because having the stairs being used made it too pointy. So I'm like, okay, the next best thing is to use slabs. Slabs is the best way to go about this, only because it has that smooth incline when it comes to the roof shape. And I thought it was the best idea to implement here because you don't want such a steep roof. You want sort of that gradual incline going on in there, as I said just a little bit ago. And this part is the garage. I go a little bit all over the place with the way that I build this, and that's usually how I build every house. It's just kind of like, okay, I've built some of the walls, now let's focus on some of the roof. Built some of the walls, built some of the roof, and then I'll probably work on like interior a little bit, exterior a little bit. It just goes all over the place, but mostly is just walls, windows, roof, and chimney, pretty much. And also the driveway as well, because there's a walkway and then there's also a driveway as well throughout the front. And there's something cool that I do with the back because there's like a back patio in the house as well that we'll get to later. If I can remember the wood that I used, which is in vanilla, because the only mod that I'm using is a shaders mod, and I'll put both the texture pack name and the shaders pack name in the description down below, so you guys can check that out. Also, if in case you guys want to as well, if you do enjoy this build, and if you want to build it yourself, um, you can follow along with this. But don't forget to hit that like button. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button as well, because it really helps me out. It really does. And I was kind of inspired to do this because 5 years ago, there was actually a video which I'll put up at the end of the video as well, so you guys can check it out. I actually built the Peter Griffin household from Family Guy, and that one did really well. Um, it was like it's actually my most watched video, my most viewed video that I've ever done. I don't know how this one's gonna do. I mean, we'll see what happens, but I feel like this one's pretty good. I mean, I'm pretty sure this has already been done before in Minecraft. I'm pretty sure. I haven't looked up any videos on this, but I'm pretty sure it's somewhere around there. Also, I got confused in this side right here because I didn't know exactly what was going on, and it was because the way that I put the blocks there, the orange concrete blocks, it was being a little awkward. So I'm like, oh, it's not the right shape because at the back I put the block there to hide it, uh, or I put the orange block there in the second layer because you have like the lip of the roof or the trim of the roof, and you also have the wall that's right up against it. So I finally fixed it, and then we continue on with the roof. And with the sizing of this, I probably should have made it a little bit wider, but at the same time, later on with the walls, both on the left and the right side of the house, there's a lot of empty space on the walls, where there's no windows. And especially on the right side where the garage is, there's a huge just space of nothing. And then there's windows in the back of the house, which is okay. I mean, for the type of house that it is, I mean, I would have put more windows in, but that's just the way the style is. And there's not there's only a couple things that I kind of altered in this as well when it came to the windows, but I try to make it as close to the build as possible. As close as I can to it in Minecraft standards. But, if you ever have a mod called Chisels and Bits, you could pretty much make everything super duper detailed down to the T if you want to. I mean, because you can make little tiny baby blocks and make everything so detailed. It's really cool. Even things that could be like realistically scaled, you could do that with Chisels and Bits. It's so cool. Um, Maybe if possible, I could try to figure that out. Now, moving on to the chimney, I'm not really talking about what I'm doing here with the build yet because it's just roof walls, roof walls. That's pretty much all it is. So I decided to go with the brick just because, it's a chimney, and I was kind of going with a similar color because what's interesting is that both the pink and the brown kind of have like the same color. And I'm like, well, most chimneys are made out of brick, so I'm just gonna use brick for this. And so I kind of made the same shape where it just kind of slopes up a little bit. And the one thing I actually forgot to do was put stairs so that way it kind of sloped up a little bit better, but I think the way it is fine. And then I decided to use these acacia trap doors, which I've known this for a little while, but I don't really use it that much, but this time I did, and I'll probably use that for any other house that has chimney. And then you put campfires in it at the top, and there you go, it's a functioning chimney, or at least a pseudo chimney. It's like kind of works, kind of doesn't. And then here's the window part, which I use light blue glass panes and even light blue glass blocks because in the images that you saw earlier, the windows are like blue. They're blue color. And then that's also because to make it seem like, these are windows here. Because if you had it just clear, I don't know, I think it'd look weird. So I also added spruce trap doors there to kind of match everything. And I mean, it's the best kind of way to go about the bay windows in the front. Which they work, they're functional, but because if it was a lot larger, what I could have done was kind of well, now that I think about it, I probably could have done it a little bit better. But if it was four blocks wide, it would have looked probably a little bit better. But I kind of want to keep it to, like I said, a realistic scale in that case. So, you know. But then now we're building up more walls. And the one thing that I decide to do with these windows, just because they look kind of bare, I decided to take some oak trapdoors and make shutters, at least besides the windows where they make more sense, those two windows at the top, I didn't put shutters there only because it would just look weird with the two in the middle, and they just wouldn't reach each other. It's just, or it just wouldn't make sense because it's like which trapdoor is for which window for the middle if it's only one block in the middle. If it was two in the middle, then it would be a different story. Um, and I had to look up several pictures because there's majority of the pictures for the Simpsons house is the front. That's pretty much the main angle of the house, which makes sense, in the cartoon. But there's a few pictures that show the right side and the left side as well as the back. And the most important parts were obviously the front and the back. And I was able to get the shape right for the backyard. And I also do some details in the backyard as well, which you'll see here soon. But yeah, here's the part where I just where I do the windows, or not the windows, the roof again, which is always a fun time. We love building roofs and stuff. I don't know what I mean, honestly, what is your favorite part about building houses or really anything in Minecraft? Like, do you like the roof part? Do you like building up the walls? Do you like building the floor? Do you like the decorative parts like the lights, like where to place the lights, chimneys, I don't know, or I mean more decorating part like the paintings, flowers, things like that. I think for me that's the most exciting part is putting foliage and all kinds of cool stuff um in the house and everything. So that's my favorite part. The most tedious for me is the roof, especially when you're having to use slabs to make a less lesser steep roof, however you say it. I have a bachelor's degree in English studies. Sometimes I have trouble thinking of the right words or like, is that a word? Is that not a word? I don't know. Anyway, I'm mumbling, or I'm rambling on. But we're almost done with the roof, thankfully. This roof, like I said, took forever. This pretty much took the majority of the time. As you can see, the inside is very hollow, and I try to make it less hollow, but yeah, we'll just see in a little bit. Sometimes I want to get ahead of myself, but I'm like, eh. But there we go. There's the roof, which like it's close to what it could have been. It's close to what it could be. Because the way that the shape is of the house, I don't know, it's a bit strange because there's the back of the house, which part of it is shorter than the other side, and then another side is longer than the other, so it just ends up being weird. But you know what? Like I said, Minecraft standards, if this was real life, or probably if there was a better way, like if I was playing 7 Days to Die, because 7 Days to Die actually has the best type of options for blocks because there's all kinds of shapes, rounded shapes, corner shapes, like cylinder shapes. I mean, you name it, it's there. And you're able to combine them together as long as you find the right shape, obviously. Um, but here's the path, by the way. And this path curves to the driveway, and then the driveway obviously, goes out to the street. I didn't build the sidewalk though. I kind of just wanted to build, I mean, the main point of this is just the house itself. Pretty much all the bips and bops with it, not the road, but I do think that this could be a start of a cool series, and I might actually go back and redo the Griffin household because I had like a bunch of mods in that one, and I'd like to see if I can challenge myself with vanilla Minecraft to see if I can do it. Because I think birchwood would look good because the house is yellow. It's like a yellow wood color. So I think birchwood would look good. So this is the part where we build the fence. Now, unfortunately, we're not using like Mr. Crayfish's furniture mod, so there's not really, picket fences that we could put here. But I decided to use oak fences, or I'm sorry, birch fences here. Um, no, I think it was oak. Yeah, oak fences. And then for the wall part, which is on the right side of the house, there's a brick wall that separates their house from, I believe, Flanders's house. And I decided to build it up too high, 2 blocks high, just because, any higher than that would be kind of overkill. And I decided to use the slabs here because it has that gradual incline as it goes up right next to the garage. So now we're moving on to the actual decorative part of this house, which is pretty cool. And I was about to put the tree in the wrong spot because this is the backyard. So saplings and bone meal sometimes does not work. So I'm like, you know what? Screw the tree right now. I'm just gonna put a bunch of grass around here to kind of build up the uh build up the yard a little bit, make it look more yardish, make it look more green, have a lot of foliage and stuff. So I bone meal the grass and everything. Make sure I cover things in grass and flowers and everything. And then I also fixed that window there because I didn't have shutters on it. And again, the tree doesn't work well because I thought I learned a trick where I grew the grass up too high, 2 blocks high on each side, and then it would force a tree to be big, but no, not really. But then I finally got one there. And then in the backyard of the house as well is a swing set, which is pretty cool. So as you can see, I don't like I've rarely ever built quote unquote swing sets in Minecraft because swings can't talk. Swing sets don't really exist. They don't exist in Minecraft. I don't know if there's some like furniture mod that has that or anything. And I also built this a little too short, so I decided to extend it out a little bit. I don't know, like the way you build swing sets, they are so bulky. It's crazy. But then I decided to use some iron fences, and I also decided to use a gray, I think it's polished andesite as the swing itself. So that way, it's just a floating swing. Obviously, you can't use it, but there you go. You have a nice swing right there. Nice, nice swing. So this part here in the back, this is where the patio is. There's no awning. It's just a patio that you just walk out on, and it's red. And the best kind of block that I went with was this mangrove. That's what it is. Mangrove. And since those trees are fairly newish, I don't know when they came out in the game, but mangrove I thought was a good idea. And what's also cool is a door that is a mangrove door because there's red door in the front and the back of the house. So I'm like, heck yeah, we'll use this instead. And then there's a light out in the back, which is by the window, but I wanted to put it on the other side because there was actual space there. And there isn't a light in the front, but I did change it slightly where I put a lantern in the front because not having a front porch light is kind of ridiculous in my opinion. Now this is the part that also took a little bit. I decided to dig out all of the grass here that's inside, that's hollow in this house, and eventually replace it. I also decided to put lanterns where they could hang out here. So that way there's some lighting in there, and then I also start adding more lights around. Like I said, I don't fill in the house with any walls or anything. It is hollow on the inside, and really, this type of house shape, you could probably build it however you want. Or if you want to stay true to The Simpsons, you could probably try to utilize this as a means to, make the rooms and everything. But I will say that for this scale, it will be very tricky to do that. Honestly, like because the rooms might be quite small. Some of them might be small. Some of them might be decently sized, and then some of them not. That was my problem with the Griffin household. I try to make it up to scale, and I even put the rooms to separate them. And some of the rooms were very wonky, and the floor plan of the house was a bit weird because even though I had the rooms separated properly, some of them were really tiny, and then some of them were actually normal sized. So I don't know. It was a bit strange. It was a bit strange, but it worked out in the end for that one. I didn't furnish that at all. We're not furnishing this one either. It's more of just the way it looks on the outside for this, and you can see I tried to attempt to do that, and I don't. I don't do it. I'm just like, no, no, this isn't gonna work. Especially with the window, the big windows up at the top. That's why if I were to make it like more akin to the way that it is in the show, I would have to make it probably maybe not twice as big, but probably 1.5 times bigger than what it is. But I decided to use glowstone to put around because having lights near the windows and anytime that it's nighttime, um, there's actually light poking through. The one thing I do though is I put white concrete as the ceiling for at least the second floor to where it separates there from the second floor to the attic, which, I did a little bit on the inside. And so that way you don't see all those lanterns hanging there. And plus, the lanterns that do hang there, it does put some light in the attic space that's up there. But then it also ensures that there's more of a better lighting space for the rest of the house that's underneath the concrete floor or concrete ceiling, depending on which perspective you're in. And then I just fill in some gaps there where there's some darkness, and then, yeah, there we go. And let's start to get a beautiful tour of this place. I mean, look at this. This build is actually complete. It looks very similar. Very, very, very similar to the Griffin household. Griffin household. I mean, Simpsons household. Sorry, I got Peter Griffin on my mind. At least his house, because, oh my gosh. I was just talking about that. I mean, those two are like rival shows, so anyway. But yeah, this looks so good. You got the swing set in the back, got the tree. Oh, this actually turned out really nice. I don't know. I think I did really well. You can see all that space on the right side though, the wall. I mean, it's not too bad. I made sure the window was big enough for that, but oh well. Um, but anyway, I hope you guys did enjoy this. If you did, be sure to leave a like if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate that. And let me know in the comments down below what you want to see next. But I'd also like to give a shout out to all my channel members whose names are up on the screen right now. Thank you for everybody who has become a channel member, and if you are interested in using exclusive emotes or are seeing or wanting to see exclusive content on the channel, be sure to hit that join button down below and become a Savvy Superstar or Specialist today. I've been Savvy, and hit that subscribe button. But I've been Savvy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys. See you later.